Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob, and welcome back to Waves Weekly. It's a video series I post every weekend where I recap last week's current events and recent news and how I believe that news might affect the markets, as well as what I'm planning on doing with my own portfolio going into next week and kind of just what I'm personally seeing in the markets. And always remember, this is not direct financial or investment advice. This is only my opinion. All right. So as always, we'll go over each topic we're going to discuss very briefly, and then we'll dive into each one individually in more depth. Okay, so first we're just going to go look over some of the bigger charts, some of the bigger positions that we discuss on this channel. So we're going to look at the S&P, we're going to look at the Dow Jones, we're going to look at and actually cryptocurrency right now. So Bitcoin, Ether, Chainlink. We're going to be discussing those in this video because right now crypto's popping off, which is sick. Again, if you watch the channel, you know that we're very involved in that space. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna look over some charts. We're gonna go over this is a chart of the S&P, and it's a trading view made chart. So we're just gonna look at this, and I'm gonna give you guys kind of my interpretation of what this chart says. Then we're gonna discuss Moderna. Good old Moderna killed it this week. This is actually another trading view member made chart that I think looks really good. He predicted actually a pop pretty well. This was made on the 16th, the day before it actually really took off. And so yeah, we're just gonna look at that. It's just a cool, again, this is very predictive. This is not factual by any means, but it's just cool to look at these kind of things sometimes. Then we're gonna go into some actual news. So as I'm sure you guys know, Trump has been talking about reopening the country, so we'll talk about that. We'll very briefly discuss jobless claims. Kind of this stuff I'm just going to go over super briefly. I'm sure you guys are informed of all this. So we'll just go over it briefly. I just want to let you guys know how I think that these will affect the markets going into next week. And then we'll talk proposed $2,000 monthly stimulus check, as if that 1200 wasn't enough. Then we'll go into how people are spending those checks. All right. So this is Brian Armstrong. He's the CEO of Coinbase, and he posted this very interesting image in regards to some Coinbase activity. So we'll look at that near the end, and then we'll look at this awesome Bitcoin chart that is another trading view member featured chart and opinion. And we'll actually go over all the crypto at the end. Okay. So we'll go over Bitcoin, Ether, Chainlink, everything that I'm thinking about the space right now near the end, and we'll just close it off with that. All right. I'm so bullish on the crypto space right now, so I might rant on it for a while, so we'll do that at the end. Okay, so again, SPY, it had a great week. Closed Friday. Both the SPY and Dow Jones, the S&P 500, Dow Jones closed up nearly 3%, which is again continuing that great rally. What I still believe is a dead cat bounce. This is a very, as you can see here, this is very ground level stuff on this chart right here. I'm not even in the full feature chart. This is just the chart, but just looking at where it is right now, you can see that there's a lot of resistance and support points where it's at right now. So I would not be surprised to see at least bounce down a little bit on Monday, just because again it is bouncing off these resistance points. As far as technicals are concerned, I will go into mentioning the bullish case that I see for SPY, although I have been preaching about how I'm bearish on it. I personally am still bearish on it over the next week to month terms. I think May is going to be a terrible month for the S&P 500 and traditional markets, to be honest, but I will give my bull case and the case that I see for a more V-shaped recovery, like some people are saying. Again, still bearish, but I will give you my bullish opinion. So first, we're going to look at this SPY chart. This is just kind of going again into why I am still bearish on it. This is tracking from March 27th, and it's just showing like lowering. It's called bearish divergence. So you look at the RSI, you look at the MACD. These are very traditional technical indicators that a lot of traders use. Lowering highs. Again, yeah, just lowering highs on both these indicators. That is traditionally very bearish, low momentum, or low volume, I should say. Volume is lowering right here, and he called this a double island top reversal. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I don't know. I'm sure this guy knows what he's talking about. I do follow him. He posts a lot of it is very intellectual stuff. So I trust his word. I trust what he says, and I'm not quite as focused on that as I am in the falling volume, which is traditionally very bearish, and these lowering highs on the RSI and MACD, which is also very bearish. So Again, that's bad. But what's good, as you guys know, if you guys have been watching the videos this past week, is Moderna. And again, this guy, what's his name? Crypto Kaleo. He actually made this chart and he posted it on April 16th. So that was on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, which is the day before Moderna actually popped off and took that like 30% move up. Okay, so yeah, he has here this cup and handle dating back from actually April of 2019. So this is a huge, very macro level cup and handle forming, which is again just kind of a trading TA. Not even necessarily. It's kind of TA, but it's more. It's not like technical analysis, if you know what I mean. Okay, so here's the cup. Here's the handle. It is a very commonly used pattern or commonly recognized pattern in trading. But yeah, big old cup, a little handle right here, and then usually after a cup and handle, it's a very bullish pattern. Usually, so you see the cup handle and then the breakout here. So he has it. Let's move my head. Where is that? So this first breakout he has by April 21st, so that is mid next week, projecting a hit of $55. And then I think the same thing is going to happen, to be honest. There's so much bullish momentum behind Moderna, especially with the news that they've released. If you guys have been watching the videos I've been making on it, I assume you have. If not, go check those out. Talking about why Moderna fundamentally is so strong right now. So again, this reminds me of crypto and cannabis bubbles in the past. There's so much momentum going towards Moderna. There's so much. I've heard some people say like this virus is bullshit and whatnot, and they're shorting Moderna. That's by far the minority, but it's just crazy to think that. And again, I personally I still hold a lot of my position in Moderna. I'm still bullish that it will eventually hit $100. So that's kind of what I wanted to get at here. Again, this is so speculative, and this by no means could happen. It could fall off a cliff if something catastrophic was to happen, or some news that another company came out with a vaccine was to happen. But again, I think Moderna will hit $100. This this cup and handle chart projection is projecting it for May 8th. So in early to mid May is when this chart is speculating that it will hit $100. I think that's pretty accurate. Give it 2 weeks. That is traditionally in a lot of in the cannabis and crypto bubbles. 2 weeks is a very common time frame for things to just shoot to the moon. Okay, so I personally wouldn't be surprised to see Moderna hit $100 within the next month. Again, could very well not happen. That's just my opinion. But I might actually try trading this because this is, again, this is kind of a fractal pattern that he has. He almost just took this exact pattern and stretched it out, which is what I think he did do. So I might look at this. I will definitely be referencing this when thinking about trading my position at all. I am holding a solid amount of it for the long term, but I might just trade a small chunk of it for fun. All right, so that's Moderna. Just had to talk about it because it was such a big week for Moderna, and that's what we've pretty much been completely focused on this week on the channel. Okay, so get into the macro news. As I'm sure you guys have seen, Trump's plan to reopen the country faces major obstacles. I'm not going to go into the article, but as I'm sure you guys know, and it's pretty obvious, those obstacles are health obstacles. It's testing, it's antibody testing, it's diagnostic tests that are those have not been well established enough to make a lot of the more health conscious individuals confident in the fact that we should reopen. There's a lot of arguments to be made. I understand both sides completely from the health perspective and from the economic perspective. We need to reopen shit. We need to get jobs back up and running because in my opinion, if we continue this much longer, people are going to go fucking crazy. And that kind of relays into this, which I'm sure you guys have seen as well. This is older news now, to be honest, because news is happening so fucking fast. This was like Tuesday, or this was published on Thursday, but the release, the news came out on like Tuesday or Wednesday. Weekly jobless claims hit 5.3 million, raising monthly loss to 22 million due to coronavirus. So those are staggering numbers. Again, very sad, but also very not surprising. Just because I'm sure a lot of you are out of work, to be honest. I'm sure you guys, if not you, I'm sure you know someone or know a bunch of people who are out of work right now. Almost every industry in the world is being hit right now. So this is, again, sad, but not surprising. And the stock market is still managing to stay stable. So we'll go into why I believe that is. The reason I think that is well, I know that is because the Fed is printing trillions of dollars and giving it to hedge funds, and those hedge funds are just buying as many stocks and equities as they can to prop up the market. So the market is factually right now being artificially propped up because Trump does not want that market to crash. He loves that thing. That is so his reelection is very reliant on the stock market performing, so he's going to put all of the resources at his disposal to make sure that that stock market does not fucking tank again. So that's, as I was talking about earlier, how I have a few bullish. That's one of the bullish reasons is the Fed, because the Fed is just going to keep fucking printing to infinity and pushing it into the stock market, keeping it artificially propped up, which I don't support. That is very dangerous long term, in my opinion. But you know, if it whatever, I don't even want to talk about that anymore. My other bullish opinion is because these stimulus checks are coming out. I don't know if you guys have gotten your $1,200 stimulus check yet. Let me know if you did. I actually got mine on Monday, surprisingly. It was pending for a few days, but I was surprised to see it in there on Monday, and then it cleared on like Thursday or something. So I got mine. Let me know if you guys got yours. I'm very curious to see how effective the rollout actually is. From a first-hand perspective, very effective. But I just want to get other people's opinions. So yeah, please let me know if you guys drop a comment. Let me know if you guys got that or not. But that is not enough in the minds of a lot of people. So the title of this Forbes article proposed $2,000 monthly stimulus checks and canceled rent and mortgage payments for 1 year. Okay, so the CARES Act provided, I'll highlight this quick actually so you guys can read along if you want. The CARES Act provided a lifeline for taxpayers and small businesses, but as a one-time cash payment, many fear that it didn't do enough to support taxpayers in one of our country's greatest times of need, especially in the light of the fact that many people still have not received their stimulus checks. So that's kind of a reason. I read this, and that's why I asked you guys. Like, I want some straight-up, on-the-ground feedback on that. Okay, so again, let me know if you got that or not. To address this, congressional leaders have made two separate proposals. One that would provide Americans over the age of 16 with a $2,000 monthly stimulus monthly check for up to 12 months, and one that would cancel rent and mortgage payments through the duration of the coronavirus emergency. Okay, so pretty much as long as the economy shut down, this proposal is proposing that each American over the age of 16 gets $2,000. That's fucking insane. 16 is an interesting call and not 18, because generally, I mean, I guess there's a fairly significant. I mean, I was working at 16 in high school, like a part-time job. That's crazy that but that kids, there's no chance that if you're working at 16 or 17 years old while you're in high school, you are getting $2,000 a month. I mean, there's obviously exceptions. The far majority of 16 and 17-year-olds are not making $2,000 a month. That's a fact. Okay, so that's crazy. That kind of plays into some of the other hyperinflation things that I've been saying. Like, if they actually do this, which I personally don't think they will, it's kind of nice to think of from an individual perspective, like who's not fucking down for $2K a month. But that is so dangerous, because that leads to, I think I saw Twitter. I don't have it on hand right now, but I saw a tweet saying that equates to roughly $400 billion a month, which is more than the federal government currently spends on everything combined in just that stimulus if this was to go down. So that would require a ridiculous amount of money to be printed, even more than has been printed. And again, back to some of these videos I make about Bitcoin, if you guys have watched those. But I talk in depth about inflation and the danger that just printing money like there's no fucking tomorrow has on the value of the US dollar. Obviously, like inflation, you guys are familiar with that, I'm sure, where like 100 years ago, the dollar has literally decreased in value by 99%. So 100 years ago, the dollar was worth 100 times more roughly than it is today. And when you print money, the reason for that is just because there's more money being printed into the ecosystem, and it's not hard money. It's that's the fiat system. That's just how it works. And again, I don't disagree with it, especially right now. I think it is very necessary right now. But if they continue to do this for a long period of time, the dollar will inevitably, this is factually, will lose value over time. Okay, so that's also the bullish argument I have, though. Because we'll go here. Like I said, this is Coinbase's CEO, Brian Armstrong, and This post is the number of buys / deposits that are exactly the same size as the $1,200 stimulus check. Okay, so you can see the day that check landed in a lot of people's accounts, it shot through the fucking roof. So that's we're going to talk about Bitcoin in a second, but this is my other, on top of the Fed printing a shitload of money and propping up the market, this is my other single and like only bull argument in my mind for traditional markets and equities, is that if kids, especially 16, 17, 18, like even under like 30, like there's so many people being turned on, especially in this time. I've talked about this too, but again, like so many more kids and new people are being introduced to the financial markets every day. Robinhood's catching traction. Like fucking, there's like Robinhood TikToks that are going around. That's insane. I haven't seen them yet. I've heard about them, but there's these kids like preaching just Robinhood trading on TikTok. And that's just to say that there's so many people, especially everyone's stuck at home. Money's being thrown around everywhere. Everyone's becoming more curious about the specifics of finance and how it works. And as these kids and younger individuals, just new investors, are given this money, they're going to want to put it to work. They're hearing, oh shit, I can 5-10x my money. I'm going to put this stuff to work. I'm not just going to sit on this. I'm going to invest this. So there's more and more kids and younger adults, individuals overall, just thinking like this. And that's why I think not just on Coinbase, which is a crypto exchange, but on Robinhood, on TD Ameritrade, on all these other investment platforms, you're going to see this $1,200 just going straight into these investment platforms. So, I mean, a lot of kids like Tesla, they like AMD, they like all these hype stocks, Apple, Amazon, just the basics, just Robinhood Boy 101 stocks, Retail Joe. And they will, if this $2,000 thing does actually happen, or even a smaller scale of that, like $1,000, $500 even, that could potentially be enough in the pockets of a lot of new investors to keep the market somewhat propped up. So that is my only bull case, but I'm still so bullish on Bitcoin. So we'll just get into that right now. Again, this is Coinbase CEO. Coinbase is strictly a cryptocurrency exchange. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, XRP, etc. I'm sure you guys are familiar. So there are so many stars aligning for Bitcoin right now. Even like, and if you guys have watched my like why I invested in Bitcoin and like how this current economic crisis is rocket fuel for Bitcoin videos, you know what I'm talking about now. But there's just so many things lining up in favor of Bitcoin. Again, these stimulus checks, that's crazy news that this many people are interested in crypto and that captivated by crypto to put their entire $1,200 into obviously if they're putting in Coinbase, they're investing in Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever cryptocurrency they choose to invest in. So that's great. Shoot, I don't have this pulled up either, but Google Trends Google Trends tracks Google search results for whatever you want, and the Google search history for Bitcoin is at like an all-time high right now. So kids are curious about Bitcoin. People overall, the world is curious about Bitcoin. It's becoming more and more commonplace. There's so many more hedge funds, so many whale investors that are putting some money to work in Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space. So that's extremely bullish. The halving's coming up in like a month, which is where the supply that is being introduced to the system by the miners is cut in half. So there's going to be a supply shock that happens next month that, in my opinion, is going to fucking skyrocket the price of Bitcoin over the next 6 months for sure. And I just wanted to show you guys this chart. Actually, we won't close off. We'll start with this and then we'll go into the actual Bitcoin and Ethereum and Chainlink charts that I want to show you guys real quick. So this is probably one of my favorite analysts on the TradingView platform in terms of Bitcoin analysis, and his name is Trading Shop. So this is a very macro, very long-term scale of let's see if I can't make that bigger, sorry. But yeah, this is a very long-term scale of Bitcoin. So he's showing here, he titles it the cyclical best buy on the road to 200K. So again, this is very macro, I'll show you. He gets 200Ks right here. Let's move down a little bit. So October of 2021 is when this chart is predicting a $200,000 Bitcoin. I would honestly not be surprised based on both the technicals are extremely strong and the fundamentals are even stronger. I would not be surprised if in like a year and a half from now we do see a 200 at the very least $100,000 Bitcoin. Just because, yeah, there's so much demand, so much curiosity around the space, and the technicals are good. Literally, all the stars are aligning for Bitcoin right now. So what he shows here is kind of just how this is a lengthening cycle. I'll start here. As you guys can see here, this is very fat. Like, things happened very spontaneously back in the early days just because it was a newer project and there were fewer people in the space. The market cap was smaller. So things are just going to happen faster by just out of commonplace, common sense. And it's lengthening over time. So it's pretty much that this blue box is the same, almost like the same volume, just stretched out over time. So the reason he uses lower highs on this LMACD with it, which is just a traditional MACD, but logarithmic MACD. And I'm not going to get into the technicals of that, but lowering highs on this typically almost always means that just the cycle of whatever you're tracking is lengthening. Okay, so yeah, you can just see it. You don't even have to look at all the technicals. You can just see that over time it has been stretched out. It's almost the exact same pattern that happens over and over again. So it's a fractal pattern, but it's just being expanded, okay? And he goes in right here to say that we are in just about the best buy zone, which you can see back here. And like it's circled in the same place on this MACD indicator. So we're right at this like super historically crucial pivot point on this logarithmic MACD, which is usually where a trend reversal happens. So it happened here right before this pop, happened here right before this pop, happened here right before this pop. And then the previous halvings were around, not exactly in these circles, these purple circles, but they're around the same areas. Like traditionally usually the halving will occur, and then the bull market begins a few months after. So again, this is just to show the stars are all aligning on top of all the fundamental factors that I listed. I go into more depth in those in some of my Bitcoin videos if you guys want to check those out. If you guys are kind of like, what the fuck is he talking about? Go check out those the Bitcoin videos if you are curious about Bitcoin, because that is if you guys don't know, I have been talking about Moderna a lot lately, but Bitcoin is my largest single long-term position. That and Ethereum are probably take up a huge chunk of my personal portfolio and my net worth as a whole. So I'm extremely bullish on those. You guys keep an eye out on those for sure, because it is about to be a wild few months for Bitcoin, in my opinion. Not investment advice. Okay, so yeah, that's that. We'll just go over. I'm not even going to go over these super deep, but right now, as of it is currently Saturday, what's today? April 8th. Saturday, April 18th, as I'm recording this. The cryptocurrency space is popping off. Bitcoin doing not so well, not doing crazy well, but I mean it's 3%. That's good. Ethereum's absolutely killing it right now, up 9%. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ether at least hit 200 on this rally up. So I think that'll happen. I'm definitely going to put a little more cash to work in my Ethereum position next week. Might swap some Bitcoin for Ethereum. Because again, Ethereum was actually my first my first love in the cryptocurrency space, if you want to call it that. That was the thing that turned me on to crypto. So where I made a shitload of money in crypto initially. And I do love Ether. I'll probably I will increase my Ethereum position next week because they are actually releasing ETH 2.0, and I will make a video. I'm going to make a lot more crypto videos in the coming weeks talking about Chainlink and Ethereum and how that's like the future of DeFi and like banking 2.0. And then I think I'm going to make a video too soon about why I think Bitcoin is better than gold. So let me know if you guys want to see that or any other crypto related videos you guys want to see, because I mean, whatever you guys want to see, I'll make that, because I'm making this shit for you guys. Okay, so yeah, I'll cover those more in depth. I just want to briefly go over like the fact that crypto is fucking killing it right now. Chainlink, third largest position in crypto, nearly as big as my Ether position currently. Chainlink is truly the black horse in crypto. If I could tell you guys, it's not necessarily the project I believe in the most in this space, but if I was to tell you guys, not financial advice, my money's on it. I think that Chainlink personally is going to be the best performing asset in the crypto space during this next bull cycle. So again, Not financial advice, but that is what I personally think. I think Chainlink is gonna pop off. Wild speculation, solely speculation, but I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Chainlink hit $100. So that's like a 30x during this next bull rally, during this next crypto cycle. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Do your own research. I did make a video about Chainlink as well, but again, over the coming weeks, especially if crypto keeps taking off more, I will definitely make videos talking about Chainlink and Ether and Bitcoin as well. Okay, so yeah, you guys just keep your. I know I told you I was gonna rant about crypto, so you guys just keep your eye out on this space. Blockchain space as a whole. There's a few stocks that I'm actually gonna talk about. One stock is my true black horse. That I will definitely make a video about. Highly risky, but I think there's a lot of upside there, so keep an eye out for that as well. And as always, you guys just drop a comment if you want to talk shop, talk about anything. Let me know if you got that stimulus check. Let me know what you guys are thinking about Moderna, crypto, all that good stuff. And as always, I'd appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe if you want to catch more of this type of content. Okay, so always remember, you guys, make waves in these markets. Until next time, peace. I have been doing that every time. All right, there we go. Peace.